So I guess I should start this off by saying that regret is a strange beast. I've come across it on many fronts, and everybody knows it in different ways. It is something that is complex, and cannot be pinned down to a single definition, or be said as straight good or bad. So in this episode, I'll cover the good, the bad, and the regret. First off, even though regret is shown in a negative connotation and is indeed a negative emotion, it does come with its own purpose in the right amount. It is the form of regret many people refer to as reflection. This reflection is one of the handiest tools that people have into growing and becoming better people. Reflection is so important as a final step of the decision-making process. Regretting the consequences of your actions keeps you in check and informs you for further decisions. Every decision does have its consequence, and it's up to you to keep note of these consequences and be responsible. This responsibility to consequences of every decision is vital to your growth. The other part is recognizing when you have made mistakes. I remember when I took the game of logging, the instructor said something along the lines of, "Always grade your stump after you finish cutting it. No matter how good or smooth it went, there will always be a mistake that you can improve on." Me being the kind of person that I am, I linked these wise words immediately to my life. Indeed, it's a little harder to judge than a stump, but in almost every single area there is a place that I can constantly improve. To mention the mistakes in every decision, to have their weight reduced in the next, is the benign side of regret. Then, we come to the maleficent side of regret. The side where it rears its ugly head far too much. Mistakes of the past weigh heavier on a person than the common fare, and it really sticks with them. After such a thing, they find themselves incorrigible and punish themselves harshly, finding themselves inferior. Instead of planning to become better from mistakes, instead the logical route appears to be wishing for a time machine like there's no tomorrow and hope that Santa comes bringing it in July. In all seriousness, though, I think everybody encounters this, and it's truly a horrific thing. As compared to the reflection side of regret, this sticks around like a cloud of putrid air and puts weight on people like a concrete block. Take, for example, the many things that I've intended to do that just went to the wayside. For most of the time, I regretted them in a bad sense and continued down a snake hole of the things that I've forgotten. Indeed, it was my biggest weakness, and I can tell you forgetting things like this is definitely not the first time. But I can tell you that you won't stop making the same mistake until you decide to push it past your past mistakes and aim towards fixing future ones. One of the characters designed for my writing fully supports this. The hero of regret. He's one of the crooked heroes based off the crooked sides of ideologies. He's important as a sign of this, as he regrets everything that he's ever done and will continue to for an indefinite period of time. His power created within himself a paradox where for 30 seconds he can gain anything that he lost via past mistakes. He has many regrets, allowing this to be quite the power, but on the other side, he never bothers to fix any of his past mistakes. He still thinks himself unworthy and is hung up on that fact. In the end, he learns not to find his past mistakes as incorrigible, but the not setting aside his mistakes and taking new risks to be his biggest regret of all. He changed this all by forgiving himself of the past mistakes, and from there looking forward with a new hope to give his all in not making new mistakes. I'll admit, he isn't a fully solid character yet, but he illustrates the endpoint enough for today. In the end, regret is like many of the emotions or feelings that I have covered previously. It can break you or fix you, but it all really depends on your perspective of it. Indeed, you will encounter regret in your life, but it is your choice of whether it will push you back or drive you forward.